Hey, we're still moving on. FMT100 here. Yes, we're still in Unit 1. Yes, we're still in Section 1. I know, it's kind of, wow, really? You're killing me. Ah, but it is what it is. Sorry, we're actually in Section 2. My bad. Hey, either way, we're on fires. Classes of fires. Um, Hopefully, you never, ever have to deal with a fire at work. Best time to know what to happen, what your responsibilities and what your actions are supposed to be for a fire is before a fire happens. So please, please, please find your company's uh, emergency response plan specifically for fires and learn it. Look at it more than once, twice. Ask some what if things and get that kind of going in your head. So that way, if there happens to be a fire, you already have a plan, and all you're doing now is following the plan. There, I've said my little pitch on that. Preparedness is your best way. I will also say this. It's still good to know the classes of fire, but remember, fire extinguishers are only made for small fires. So you don't have a lot of time. If the fire gets too big, should have already pulled the fire alarm, even if it's a small fire. You still sound the alarm, and that way people are heading out, and you can try and knock it down, and still have the fire department come in and double check to make sure nothing flares back up. But let's look at our fire classes here. So Class A is ordinary combustibles. Essentially, if it burns and leaves ash residue behind, it is a Class A fire. All right. So, and it sounds silly, but the way I remember Class A is for ash. 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 So, Class A is a fire that produces ash. There. There we go. All right. So it's not so hard, right? Class B. Class B is flammable liquids. I kind of think that Class B is one of the more frightening ones because it's a liquid, and liquids tend to, well, they tend to travel. We've all spilt milk or some kind of fluid, and it just kind of spreads. So, and that is a concern because we need to make sure we use the right extinguisher for that. So, for that one, we're going to need an extinguisher that goes strictly for liquids, and that would be a Class B extinguisher. So, flammable liquids, one of the other things we have to be careful about, we don't put water on them because if it's a flammable liquid, chances are it's lighter than water. So now the liquid will float on top of the water and spread wherever the water goes. No bueno. All right. So that's something else to keep in mind. You're going, well, how am I going to remember flammable liquids? It's a Class B. Oh, it's easy. It's a liquid. Liquids bubble. All right. So whenever you see liquid, I want you to think, okay, liquid bubble, it's a Class B fire. All right. See, remembering the classes really is not that hard. Class C fire, regrettably, the ones I'm always the most apprehensive about as well. Class C fire is electrically charged or electrically energized equipment. So this is really bad because so long as we still have electricity connected to whatever is burning, it will continue to burn and be a Class C, an electrically charged or electrically energized fire until we can get that electricity turned off to that piece of equipment or appliance or what have you. Are you ready for this? Once you de-energize, once you take away the electricity, that fire now becomes like a Class A or whatever else is going on because you no longer have electricity there and it's no longer an electrical fire. It's just a regular annoying fire. So Class C, I want you to think it's charged. It's electrically charged. That is a Class C fire. C for charged. Good to go. I'm hoping so. So Class D. Class D is combustible metals. Yes, there are metals that burn. Aluminum happened to be one of them. Aluminum will burn. If you do any blacksmithing, you'll also know that all metals will burn, but aluminum will burn. Magnesium burns quite well and very, very hot, I might add. Sodium burns. Sodium is a metal. It reacts with water. You see a problem with this. So they have their own extinguisher, and that is a Class D extinguisher. Um, and you're going to love this one. D is for dang, I'm having a bad day because it's a burning metal. Look, I didn't have anything fun for this, all right? So D, dang, I'm having a bad day. So Class D, if you've got burning metals, dang, you're having a bad day, D. Now, they don't have this other class of fire, but I'm going to throw it in just because FMT, we can do and go into some really odd businesses, other places that normal people wouldn't associate uh, us going into, and commercial kitchens happens to be one of them. And commercial kitchens have their own set of unique hazards. And for those who have ever, let's see, gone to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, any fast food, and Chinese food, we all know that they have deep fryers. They also have cooking grills. So all of those cooking oils, while they're a flammable liquid, yes, they have some unique characteristics. And what's going on with them, where they're being used and whatnot, has their own unique problems. So they've come up with an extinguisher just for them. It's the Class K extinguisher, or the Class K fire. So any fire that you find in a kitchen, in a commercial kitchen type environment, is going to be classified as a Class K fire, which is nice because K is for kitchen. Good deal, right? Works for us. So you're going, okay, so we got Class A, makes ash. Class B, bubbles. Class C is charged. Class D is dang, it's burning metals, I'm having a bad day. And Class K for commercial kitchen. And each one of these glorious classes also has a shape associated with it. Class A is our triangle, and usually has a trash can or wood burning to it because it makes ash. B, for our liquids, is got a gasoline can, and it's pouring and bubbling and doing its thing for flammable liquids. Class C is our charge. Here's our electrical charge, our electrical energize. We got a plug going, and it's burning. If you see this, you're having a bad day. And then burning metal. So they've literally got an I-beam here that's on fire, and yes, you're going to be having a bad day. If you go back to canvas, canvas gives you the shape for kitchen and also gives you the nice little icons with it. So you're going to need the proper extinguisher for the fire that you're facing. All right. Now the good news is most of the time for kitchens, they typically have their own little area and their own little extinguisher that's going to be directly over the grills that is as associated with. And I highly encourage you to use the extinguisher station for that area because it'll also shut down the exhaust fan. So now you're not bringing literally air into that fire area, and it allows the extinguishing agent to work its magic a lot better. So if you got a kitchen fire, use the extinguisher pull station at that location. And once again, you still got to sound the alarm. Usually screaming fire is a way to do it, but as you pull that fire extinguisher station, it usually also sounds an alarm as well. That's the good news there. But how we use the extinguisher, we've got our extinguisher types. We've got A, B. We've got some combination ones as well. You'll see them A, B, C. All right. Well, if you have to use an extinguisher, I always love this one. They want you to remain calm. Do your best you can. You're going to have someone dial 911 if you're not dialing and evacuate the area. You do not have to fight a fire. You can look at it and go, yep, that's a bad day. As long as you call 911, you evacuate the area, you've done your due diligence. If you think you can nail this thing, nip it in the butt. Make sure you got the proper extinguisher. Look at the fire, look at the extinguisher. Okay, yep, it's doing the bubbly thing. I've got a combination ABC extinguisher here. I've got a combination extinguisher here in the lab with me. It's a ABC extinguisher. And you're going to go, all right, I'm good to go. You're going to do the pass method. And that is something that's even trained to firefighters. It is the pass method. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab the extinguisher. Well, continue to breathe. Remember, breathing is important. You're going to pull the pin. That is the P in pass. You're going to aim at the base of the fire. That's the A. You're going to squeeze the handle of our extinguisher. That's our first S. And you're going to sweep. And you're going to sweep from closest to you out, away, and left and right. So basically like you're sweeping, literally sweeping the fire away from you. By doing this method, you're guaranteed to nail the area that is burning. All right. And if you happen to be using what they call a CO2 extinguisher, which is literally carbon dioxide, what you're also doing now is you're allowing that carbon dioxide cloud to roll up over the fire area. So now you're smothering the fire area with the carbon dioxide gas. Even with a powdered fire extinguisher, you're now rolling that powdered extinguisher agent over the fire area, smothering it. And even our glorious just regular water, you're rolling the water across the fire area, and you're working closest to you and away, so you're literally pushing, you're sweeping the fire away from you. Keep in mind, the numbers that you see in front of those letters, A, B, C, or D, is the square footage that extinguisher has been determined to put out. So if you've got a 2A and 5BC, that's only 2 square feet for wood burning, and then 5 square feet of either flammable liquid or a electrically charged fire. So it goes quick. Once the extinguisher is used up, if the fire's still going, your job is to get the hell out. Now, if you happen to knock down the fire, awesome. Grab another extinguisher and you're going to stand guard on that area until the fire department relieves you. Let the fire department come in and make sure everything's okay. Once the fire department says it's good to go, hey, go home, take a shower, and have your favorite beverage, because Lord knows you've definitely earned it. All right, take a small break and we'll get ready for the next glorious section, which is going to be ladders.